Hey guys, it's your boy Josh Masaki back from another video. Today I'm going to actually do a 3-point video. Ignore what I said at the beginning of my first video earlier. Um, so it's going to be another Goosebump book review. All three of them are going to be Goosebump book reviews today. Today is going to be one of them is going to be The Girl Who Cried Monster. One of the most scariest books in the series. I'm going to tell you that much. I've read the book and I actually love the episode. I like both of them. This one was actually challenged in the 1990s in the libraries because it was so scary and messed up that kids probably couldn't read it. But parents said no, and at least our kids are reading. Like, why would you kick it off just because it's scary? Yeah. Anyways, so the story goes that Lucy loves to tell scary monster stories, and loves to tell them everybody, and like her parents, her friends, even her little brother, who's petrified of this, okay? And she loves to scare him for some reason. I don't know why she's a jerk, okay? Kids are jerks. Your older kids usually are jerks. Anyways, he said, she's also part of this summer reading program at the library, where she gets, I guess you can get books at the library so anyways, she then talks about monsters and scares all her brother and stuff. So one day when she's at the summer reading program, she catches the librarian, Mr. Mormon, who also runs the summer reading program, change into a monster, and he starts eating bugs and or crickets and baby turtles. Now in the episode they made for this, it was changed to crickets and what's it called? Spiders, because I don't think they could have gotten away with showing baby turtles being eaten. I'm sorry, I don't think they could have. Anyways, so the story goes that she freaks out and runs away, and she goes back there another day to watch this again, and she goes home and she runs home and she runs home. And she breaks into the door and says, "Mom, Dad, there's a monster in the library." And the brother says, "Monster where?" And then he says, and the mother says, "Don't you say, hey Lucy, do you ever say hi anymore? Hi, Mom, there's a monster in the library." I love that joke. I think that was one of my favorite parts in the book. And then the episode I cracked up at. And she's like, "We've had enough of your monster stories." So you could tell that she's basically being played like the little boy who cried wolf. He cried wolf so many times that no one will believe it when the actual wolf comes. Same thing is going for Lucy. She's cried monster so many times and like talked about monster stories and shit. No one's gonna believe her because they don't give a shit no more. They don't. Sorry. Anyways, so she goes in and she tries to tell Mr. That Mr. Morin's a monster, and he's a big slimy, disgusting one that eats bugs, and she's freaking out her little brother, and that's about it. And she doesn't give a shit. The mom says, go to your room, you're grounded for the day, and shit. And she's like, okay. So she's reading. She plans to catch the monster in the act. She brings a disposable camera, and she's gonna take a picture of Mr. Morton eating the bugs. Okay? So next day she goes back to the library, picks out another book, and then checks it out. But then she decides to hang back while her friend leaves, which is a guy. I forgot her friend's name though. She's taking pictures, and then he finally changes and starts eating the crickets and the thing again. And he takes a picture, but she forgot to turn off the flash on the camera. So he sees this, and she's like, "Oh shit!" He saw the flash. So he says, "Who's there?" In his monster form, and she's like, he's getting up and she's looking through the book aisles, and she's like a big game of cat and mouse where she's just hiding, moving like he's going in one aisle, and she's just leaving the aisle just before he gets to see her, and and then finally he catches her. She runs for it, and I love this line. I'm sorry, I cracked up as a kid, and this is real fucked up because I was probably 10 when I read this book, and I saw the episode when I was 9. But it's both in the book and in the episode, and I cracked up. I'm sorry. And he says, "Go ahead, run, child. I love fast food." I'm sorry. It cracked me up. I'm sorry. It just did. Like, who the hell just said, it's like the best, line anyone could have said if you're a monster. Go ahead, run. I love fast food. I love fast food. I actually do. I'm one of those people that love fast food. But shit. After you go out and admit it when you're in a monster form and you're going to eat a girl, that's hilarious because, she's running away and that must mean she's fast, so... Oh, that was a good... Sorry, I'm sorry, I was talking for a second, but that was one of my favorite lines of the book. Oh, there's other... anyway, so she gets home and she tells them that she got the picture, but her parents don't believe her because the Flash got in the way and they think she just faked it, okay? But they said they'll invite Mr. Mortman to dinner to settle this, thing that she can prove to them that the parents are going to prove that Mr. Mortman's not a monster, okay? So Mr. Mortman comes over for dinner a night later, okay? And Mr. Mortman basically is like, "Oh, I'm glad to have you for dinner. I'm glad to be here for dinner." And everything. And they're like, "Oh, thank you. Thank you very much." He says, "So where's the dinner?" Mr. Mortman says. And he says... And then the parents say, "Well, we're looking at him. Well, it's you, of course." And then all of a sudden, Lucy and her brothers, and I forgot her brother's name, his parents actually change and they are monsters. And they eat Mr. Mortman. They eat Mr. Mortman. And then they say that they sorry they didn't believe Lucy because Lucy, they have never had another monster in town except them for years. So it's hard to believe that another monster was in town. And they said that Lucy forgot she was a monster, but she won't grow her fangs like her parents until she gets older. And then she's basically, her mother lashes out at Lucy and says, "No more scary monster stories." But I'll be like, "Mom, but we're monsters. Why can't I tell scary monster stories? We're monsters ourselves. And you just ate the librarian, who was a monster, but still, you just ate the librarian." And I was sitting there, I'm like, wow. That was interesting. I love that. And then the kids all had their teeth and get shown their teeth, and I love that story. I love this book. I love the episode. I don't know why a lot of people why a lot of people don't like it. There's a lot of people that don't like this episode for some reason or book, and I love it. I think it was one of the greatest ones too. I think it was really scary. I mean, it can be scary, but it can't be if you're like 7 or 6 and you're reading this book. You shouldn't be reading it. That's sure. And especially if you love turtles, okay? If you love turtles, you forget about reading this book. Baby turtles, fuck no, you should not be reading this book. Fuck no, don't read it, please. But if you're like 10 or 11 or 12, of course you can read the book as long as you don't like turtles. Because if you like turtles, you're gonna probably either be traumatized by what you're reading, or you're gonna be freaked out. See, I was traumatized from the 7th one, or the episode, because he eats spiders, and I actually like spiders. They're actually one of my favorite kind of animals, and I don't know why a lot of people give spiders a bad rap, but the thing is, spiders are more afraid of you than you are of it. As long as you leave a spider alone, it's not gonna do anything to you. I mean, casually, maybe it'll walk near you, but it's not like gonna go attack you. Now, poisonous spiders are a whole different story, man. Okay? Whole different story. I would stomp on a poison spider if it was the last thing I could do. I would stomp on that shit. But that's just me. I wouldn't stomp on a tarantula or a daddy long leg or even a regular brown spider. Okay? I wouldn't stomp on it because it's just a spider and it's not harming anybody. All it's trying to do is mind its own business. The only thing I probably would do if it got to the point where I needed to get it out of my sight would probably pick it up and bring it outside. And that would be it. That would be the end. But like I said, that's the story. That's my review. I have goosebumps. I would say this book gets a 10 out of 10 for scary, for nostalgic for me, and just for being, oh my god, the best.